Hey gang, your way Platt back with another episode of Value Spirits. The particular spirit we have today is El Jimador Reposado Tequila. I picked up this particular bottle at $15.99, so under 20 bucks for a 750 liter of pretty much any spirit right now is a pretty good deal. Like I said, this is a Reposado Tequila. What does that mean? Reposado tequilas are aged anywhere from 2 to 12 months in oak. Doesn't have to be new oak, doesn't have to be used bourbon barrels. Could be wine barrels, could be sherry barrels. Just has to spend anywhere between 2 and 12 months in oak. This is also 100% blue agave tequila. The best tequilas in the world are generally 100% blue agave tequilas. There are also something called mixtos, where they mix in cane sugar or whatever as additional fermentables, but those are generally your well tequilas. But this 100% blue agave. Interesting note, and if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know this little trick, but on every bottle of tequila, they have something called the NOM, Norma Oficial Mexicano. Basically, it's the distillery number, and you can type that in. For El Jimador, it's 1119 is the number. If you type in NOM 1119 into like Google, whatever search engine, it will tell you everything, all the tequilas that distillery makes. Great piece of little information. You know, we're kind of researching this stuff. I'll give you a good example. You know, just look up your favorite celebrities' tequila, and, you know, they're going to sell it for 60, 70, 100 bucks, what have you, and you'll type in that number and you'll find a lot of, you know, in your mind you go, well, this celebrity obviously hired a 43rd generation master distiller and this, that, and the other, and it must be the most beautiful plantation in the world. And you do the research and they make 23 other tequilas, including Bubba's tequila that sells for 20 bucks a bottle. Just a great little piece of information. Now, if you do the research though in El Jimador, you do get a little different story. Besides El Jimador, they produce the entire Herradura line of tequilas, including the fabulous Herradura Suprema, one of the, you know, best extra añejo tequilas out there. They also produce a couple of brands that I'm not aware of, Antiguo and Suave 35. Again, bills have got to get paid, so I understand that. But they, compared to other distilleries, have kind of a smaller line, and they really focus on the El Jimador and Herradura line of tequilas. The tequila itself, El Jimador, the name comes from the Jimadors that will harvest the agave out in the field. This is not a job that the robots are going to take anytime soon. The agave plants, when you harvest what's called the piñas, they can be anywhere from 75 to 150 plus pounds. They grow, it takes 6 to 8 years to grow, so you have to have a careful eye to know which plants to harvest. And these Jimadors are very skilled. They also use a tool called a koa, which is basically a long shovel handle with a sharp rounded blade on the edge, and it's what they kind of cut the leaves off. And it's a skill that gets passed down multiple generations from father to son to grandson. And a lot of times these multi-generational Jimador families will work for multi-generation plantation owning families. So it's kind of a cool story. Even though they're laborers, they're highly skilled laborers, you know, very similar to like a cooper that makes the barrels. A lot of times you'll see that multi-generational working for the same distillery for a long time. And again, they're laborers, but they're highly skilled and definitely don't get enough love. The distillery itself is in Amatitan, sorry about that, Amatitan, Jalisco, Mexico. Jalisco is the state where a majority of tequilas are produced, you know, for the consumption throughout the world. Usually, a lot of people say the best tequilas come from there, especially the highlands area of Jalisco. El Jimador is part of Grupo Industrial Herradura. They are a subsidiary brand. I believe the brand was released in 1994. Herradura's story goes all the way back to 1870 when a gentleman named Aurelio Lopez, who had been like a foreman or a supervisor at a previous plantation / distillery, ended up taking over, buying it out. And the Herradura line and brand stayed in the family for over 120 years. Eventually, in 2007, they sold to Brown-Forman. Brown-Forman is a major international beverage conglomerate. They bring you Jack Daniels, Southern Comfort, Corbel sparkling wines, just to name a few. One last little selling point for El Jimador. It is the #1 selling tequila in Mexico. So if you go to Mexico and like, well, what do the locals drink? It's El Jimador. It's not Cuervo. It's not Patron. It's El Jimador. So that being said, let's drink a little Reposado tequila. All right, fairly light color, but again, less than a year in a barrel. Let's give her a nose. That's pretty nice. Now, I do have a little inside knowledge. I went to the cooperage for Jack Daniel, Brown-Forman Cooperage, and they do produce they produce barrels for Jack and the other product lines. I think they also make like barrels for Woodford and other brands. But those barrels head down for Herradura's products. They use their barrels. So there's a decent chance that this might have spent some time in a used Jack Daniel's barrel. Let's go in for a little nose. You know, one thing I've noticed with tequila, especially the longer you live age, you start to pick up some brandy notes on there. You know, agave is kind of a fruit, so in a sense it is brandy-ish. The longer you let it pick up, and I pick up just a slight hint. There's something in there that kind of reminds me a little brandy. I do get a little bit of the oak on there. It's very soft. It's very subtle. These tend to be used barrels. Let's go in for a try. Very nice. Nice little sweetness up front. Classic tequila taste. Got a little burn, but not in a negative way. It actually goes down pretty nice. I will say this. I've worked at several bars where we've used this tequila. And if I was managing, owning a bar, I would definitely have it probably in there. This is not something you're necessarily going to put in a snifter and savor wherever. This is a great tequila for utilizing in cocktails. You know, if I was making a house, if I ran a bar, Platt's Bar or whatever, and I was going to have a house margarita, it would probably be something like El Jimador, this Reposado, I would put in that. Just a real good, solid, clean, execute tequila. Nice, you know, has some nice, you know, wood notes and some flavor in there. But again, it's not aged like an añejo. It's not neutral though of flavor, like, you know, some of the Blanco tequilas now are kind of getting used like vodka in drinks, and that you don't want that. But classic tequila cocktails in a bar I was running, I would probably use this tequila. I think its best purpose is something like that. Overall, nice tequila. Would I do a shot of it? Yeah, you know, definitely. Again, for $15.99, I think this is just a real nice tequila. This would be one most likely, you know, if I kept a bigger bar, I'd probably have a bottle all the time because, again, it's just a nice multiple-purpose tequila. I think it's a standard that most bars would have. Again, they're not going to feature it on the back bar like a Patron Platinum or whatever. But, again, for the dollar, it's tough to beat. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas for videos, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.